So, you're single again, and this time you're clean and sober. The chaos and the pain, gone. And it's time to move on and get back into the dating game. Well, here's the real question. Can we have a meaningful relationship with someone new without a drink or drug? I'll attempt to answer that coming up. So, of course, the simple answer to that question is, hey, it depends. Well, we're not simple people. So let's look a little deeper. Sobriety doesn't erase loneliness. Sometimes it makes it sharper. Nights feel longer, holidays feel emptier, and the thought of dating creeps back in. But this time, it's not about numbing the pain or filling that void. It's about building something real this time. Okay, picture this. You're sitting in your car, all set to pick up your date for the evening. Now your hands are on the steering wheel, but your mind, that's somewhere else. It's racing. You're about to go on a first date for the first time in a long time. But suddenly it hits you. For years, dating meant drinks, late nights, and very early mornings. Now it feels like you're walking into the same arena, but without the old armor. That's what makes sober dating so different. It's not about meeting someone new. It's about facing yourself. When you were drinking or using, maybe you covered up insecurities with charm. Maybe you laughed a little too loud or told stories you barely remembered the next day. Maybe you built connections that were only built on the drink or the drug. Now you're sober. You're meeting people as you. No filters, no shortcuts. And that's intimidating because if someone chooses to have a relationship with you now, they're choosing the real you. My name is Glenn. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and I drank for 40 plus years. And by the grace of God, I've been sober now for over 5,000 days. Everything I share is just my opinion, and it comes from my experience in recovery. Please like and subscribe as we're trying to build our community here. So here it is. Being single in sobriety, it isn't the same as just being single. You're not just learning how to meet people, you're relearning who you are without a drink in your hand or a substance numbing the nerves. But let's be real. A lot of us are scared about relationships and sobriety. Maybe we've been burned when we first got sober. Maybe things just didn't work out. Whatever the reason, we're very skeptical, and that creates tension. You start asking questions you never thought you'd ask. Do I bring up my sobriety right away? Do I explain my shady past? What if they think differently of me? It's not rejection we fear, it's that moment of silence after the truth comes out. Sobriety forces you to face questions you used to drown out. So those questions can keep you single for months, even years, because you're afraid to risk. The risk is too high. But getting out of bed every day is risky. And here's the thing, the more honest you are, the stronger you become, because honesty is the foundation of sobriety. Being clean and sober is living in the light. Dating sober means inviting someone else into that light. And yes, that's scary, but it's also where the real connection starts. When you're sober and you're single, there's this little voice that tries to talk you out of even trying to reach out. It says things like, well, you've had too many problems to be loved, or nobody's going to accept your past. That voice is a liar. The Bible says in Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. What I've seen is that sobriety doesn't make you less attractive. It actually makes you more attractive because it shows courage. It shows discipline. It shows that you've walked through fire and come out stronger. You know, I remember being on a date once where that person asked me, so why don't you drink? Well, in the past, I might have cracked a joke like, well, because every time I drink, I break out in handcuffs. Or just completely ignored the question. But this time, I just told the truth. Because alcohol almost killed me. And instead of judgment, what I got back was respect. You see, we are afraid of being rejected for our sobriety, but often it's the very thing that earns people's respect. Dating sober feels like stepping onto a new playing field. You're more aware, you see things you never used to notice, like those red lights that you once ignored. You also realize that you're not looking for someone to rescue you anymore, and you don't need a distraction. You don't need chaos. You want connection. And that shift is huge because when you're not desperate to fill a hole, you can actually take your time and wait for something real. And let's be real, it's still awkward sometimes. You know, there'll be moments when you sit across from someone and you feel the weight of your story pressing against your chest. But the difference now is that you can breathe. You don't have to lie. You don't have to hide. Sobriety gives you the clarity to choose, not out of loneliness, but out of strength. And this is where faith comes in, because if we're honest, we don't just need romance, we need redemption. Dating sober isn't about filling that empty space. It's about inviting God into the space and letting Him shape who you are before you let someone else in. Now remember this, just because we're sober doesn't mean relationships are suddenly easy. There are traps that can knock us off course. Let's get into the part that nobody wants to say out loud. Dating sober can put your recovery at risk. Flat out. If you're not careful. Now think about it. Relationships often mean dinners, weddings, parties, even clubs. And if the person you're dating still drinks, that's a whole new layer of pressure. So, what do you do? Well, first, you stay honest with yourself. Don't pretend that you're stronger than you are. Matthew 26:41 says, "Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." And I'll bet you've heard that one before. Second, communicate. If your partner drinks, be upfront. Hey, I don't mind if you have a glass of wine, no problem, but I can't sit in a bar until the sun comes up. If they respect you, they'll work with you. If they don't, that's your answer. Third, at social events, come prepared. Order your non-alcoholic drink right away so you're not standing empty-handed. Go with a plan, bring a friend or your partner who has your back, and always keep your exit open. You don't owe anyone an all-night appearance. Above all, remember this, your sobriety comes first. No relationship, no wedding, no date, no dinner is worth losing what God has given you. 1 Corinthians 10:13 reminds us, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear." Dating in sobriety isn't about proving that you can hang. It's about protecting what God is building in you. Your healing, your future, your peace. One of the biggest challenges that we face in sobriety is jumping in too fast. I think we've all done that, thinking that a relationship will fix the loneliness. But what happens? That person becomes your new drug of choice. Suddenly, your moods rise and fall on whether they text back or not, and that's dependency in disguise. Another trap is thinking you can save someone who's still using. And listen, I get it. I tried. I know that pain. But love doesn't cure addiction. And I can say that from my own experience. Sobriety is a personal choice. You either want it or you don't. Not something you can drag someone into as hard as you might try. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guarding your heart means protecting your sobriety first. If you lose that, you lose everything, the very thing that makes a meaningful relationship possible. So how do you do it? How do you get back in the game without losing what you've worked so hard for? Well, it starts with being okay in your own skin. That's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's being able to say, I'm sober, I'm growing, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'm showing up to life anyway. It also means not rushing. Friendships first isn't just a cliche, it's a safety net. When we were using, it was everything else first before real friendship. Because when you're sober, you're not chasing a high, you're building trust. And don't forget, bring God into it. The world says, rush in, fill the void, fix the loneliness, fast. God says, slow down, renew your mind, and let Him transform your heart. That's how you build something that lasts. So let's circle back to that question I asked in the beginning. Can we have a meaningful relationship with someone new without the drink or drug? So, yes, of course, yes. You can be sober and you can get back in the game. But this time you're playing by new rules. And those rules, they're written in honesty, faith, and freedom. What matters is that you're walking in sobriety first, because that's the foundation that everything else is built on. The right relationship won't complete you, it'll complement you. It won't rescue you, it'll walk with you. And the right person won't fear your sobriety. They'll respect it. They'll see it for what it is, proof of your strength, your courage, your new life. Sobriety doesn't take love away. It's going to give you the chance to love in a way that you never could before. Real, present, God-centered. And maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of love that you've been searching for all along. If this video connected with you, share it with a friend who's walking through the same season. Subscribe and tell me in the comments, what's been the hardest part of dating in sobriety for you if you're in the dating scene? Let's keep this conversation alive and let's keep growing. God bless you. God bless our veterans. And remember, somebody out there loves you.